That's wrong game I cut to. Sorry about that. That's wrong game I cut to. Sorry about that. That's wrong game I cut to. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Wayback Wednesday. I'm your host, Rob, here at MMORPG.com. Tonight we have Dark Age of Camelot. We're in the New Frontiers. We're the Albion Realm. I am a armsman. The Reaver's a little too squishy for me. Figured I'd pick a class where I might not actually die as much because I'm used to playing heavy melee, and it's not so much fun when I'm dead all the time, and you guys don't get to see things. Talal is here. He just wandered away, and he's going to come back. There he is.
Hello, everybody.
They say hello. I cut to the wrong scene initially, and they got to see a quick glimpse of the repopulation. I'm sorry about that. And let's see. Joe gave me some pots. Thank you, Joe. Alrighty. Awesome. Now I should be able to sprint and be okay. So tonight we're doing things a little bit differently as far as the questions go. We took things from the community. We let you guys go ahead and vote on them and rank them in the order in which you wanted to talk about them. And the first topic that we'll talk about tonight will be the New Frontiers. But before we get to that, it wouldn't be Wayback Wednesday with Dark Age of Camelot if I didn't ask you, so when are we going to see Infernal Sleeves come back?
Haha. Infernal Sleeves. As a matter of fact, Rob, soon, and that's
a trademark soon
you can count on. That's actually one of those soons that that you can take to the bank. One of the things that we so in the wake of the Mordred transfers,
which happened.
They
happened. It's a real thing now.
You can do it.
We talked about it for a year.
We are, and just a quick note about that, of getting a lot of questions about when we're going to open up Mordred transfers to sub 50 players. The answer to that is Friday. On Friday, your level 49 and below Mordred player will be liberated and able to transfer to the Ywain of your choice. And after everybody has come over, after a certain amount of time has passed, I'm going to say a few weeks, so that everyone has a chance to come over, we are going to re-establish the merchant event that was around in the general time frame of our birthday last year. And before everybody freaks out, Infernal Sleeves aren't going to be crazy expensive, and you're going to see, you know, we're actually in the process right now of discussing pricing and, you know, duration and, you know, additional items which would be available. We're in the process of discussing that with our internal guys, and we're getting a consensus of what is going to work the best, because we want our dear brethren from Mordred who have come over naked and cold to put together a decent template so they can go out and start earning RPs again. So because I don't believe it's in their nature to PvE, we're going to bring back this very helpful merchant event so that they can spend their hard-earned cash, and because they did come over with that, and buy some really cool toys and put together a decent template.
Alright, you get a good template. Eternal Sleeves coming back. It's amazing.
Yep. So we're setting up for it right now, and it's all a matter of timing, because we want, because the event is transient, it's not going to go quite as long as last time. On our end, we want to make sure that, you know, enough people transfer over so that they don't miss the event.
Now, we did talk about, there was actually kind of like a roadmap to some things you guys were working on internally and getting done, and the Mordred transfers were one of the first things that you needed to get knocked out. You've done that.
Yep.
And further on down the line, there was the welcome back.
Well, actually, 1.114B.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't say it was next on the line.
Yeah. Sure. So 1.114B is next on the docket, so that's what we're focusing on, and I'll be prepared to discuss the details of our re-enlistment campaign or our Come Back to Camelot campaign, or whatever name it's given, I think that should be one of the first things that we discuss on a new segment that we put together that isn't Wayback Wednesday. So
You're putting together a new segment that's not Wayback Wednesday?
I mean, I should like to continue this collaboration. I've grown rather fond of you, Rob.
Oh, I appreciate
Notice
that.
if you looked out your window last night, I wrote your name in fire. That's not creepy. That's just a sign of respect, I think.
My grass is getting kind of outrageous, so if I'm going to go set my lawn on fire, I might not be that upset with you.
So, that being said, 1.114b coming to a Dark Age of Camelot near you. I'm prepared to tell you a little bit about it. It is primarily a class balance patch because 1.11...
I thought you didn't talk about balance issues.
Oh no, we're going to talk about what we're going to do. We're just not going to debate the finer points of balance.
Gotcha.
And then after that, we can take questions and we can watch Rob die several times.
Yay!
So let's just do a quick rundown of 1.114b. A lot of the stuff is still being tinkered with, and our internal guys are going back and forth. John, who I hope will be able to show up tonight, is also collaborating with us to take care of some of the outstanding balance issues. And when I say outstanding balance issues, I just mean the balance issues that we're talking about now, because there will never be a complete class balance, point in this game. It's going to be, for as long as there are opposing realms, for as long as there are different classes, basically for as long as there's more than one player, there's going to be an opinion on balance. So let's talk about one of the biggest aspects of 1.114b, and that is warlocks. They are being redesigned.
Holy man!
Yep.
So they're not going to free balls split over the head and just blow things up?
The balls will remain. I mean, what would a warlock be without his balls, right?
I don't know.
The balls will remain.
A woman?
It's the nature of the class. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I know that was almost obligatory.
That was pretty
funny. The details of this redesign will not become available to you until the patch notes are out. So wait with bated breath. Okay. But the warlock is being redesigned. Rangers are getting a boost. Also, the details. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and say right now, the details for all of these you're just gonna have to wait for. I'm just gonna give you, the basic overview. So Rangers are getting a boost in to be determined ways, to be revealed, I should say. Maulers are getting looked at. There have been a couple of requests for various, various changes to the Mauler. One of the more, I guess, standard requests that we get is to just increase their spec points. That's something that we're looking at among other aspects of the class. Reavers are being adjusted in yet-to-be-revealed ways, and we can talk about nearsight and disease, their duration being reduced across the board. So those are the things that you can look forward to. Those aren't, that's not everything, but those are the salient details.
All right, well, the first topic that everybody had on the list, let's see, can I just check? Sorry. The first topic we had on the list was New Frontiers. Okay.
I'll be happy to talk about the fact that after 1.114b and independent of the Come Back to Camelot campaign, because that's not necessarily something that requires, that's not necessarily a dev-centric endeavor. It's a lot of community, a lot of marketing, a lot of, we're involved, certainly, but when it comes to putting our resources into the next big thing, I am happy to announce that the next thing is an NF upgrade, we'll call it. It's also been called the NF revamp. I want to to curb
It sounds like
expectations.
a pretty massive undertaking to
Right. See,
revamp the entire.
that's why I immediately wanted to say that I wanted to curb expectations as
Okay.
to the word revamp. What we're going to do. I mean, we're not talking about new zones. We're not talking about old frontiers. We're not talking about a new relic system. What we're talking about is the topic that we've discussed before, accessible RVR. How players can jump into the game and get a decent fight without conducing huge Zerg gameplay, without marginalizing the 8v8 game and without marginalizing the solo game, because everybody has their particular play styles, and so it's a big task, but we're gonna get through it by involving everybody, by getting the feedback and talking to players. I'm not sure if anyone has noticed, but John and I have been making our appearances on postcount.net, and
Never been there, so I wouldn't know.
we've been dreaming of coming to the MMORPG.com forums, but we're waiting for an invite.
For the questions that people, so people have been asking me, the map that I have on the stream, that is called the Realms. If you just look it up, that's it. If you Google the Realms, you should be able to find it. Sorry, it's just a art map asset from Camelot way back in the day.
Why don't you tell them about what we have tonight to give away?
All right, tonight we have, I think, 15 game, or was that 50? No, we've got 15 game type cards to give out for 1 month. We have 2 extra large, or 2x t-shirts, and we have a number of posters, and the number of posters just kind of depends. I have many at my disposal, but it more or less just depends on how we're doing on time.
Sure.
On how many of those we'll give out.
And if you have examples to show.
The t-shirt I'm wearing.
That's
and the poster is pretty much that on a black poster.
Yep. It's a good poster. I've got one hanging up in my room.
I don't, but I do have a Warhammer poster on the floor right there, and above that I have a Dark Age of Camelot, but it's the 10th anniversary lithograph.
Ah, yes. A fine lithograph, that.
It is. It's very nice. And apparently what's going on is the entire battle group right now is waiting for our cleric to find armor die.
I mean, there are fewer things more important, right?
Exactly. So why don't you talk a little bit more about your revamp? Well, and we'll pretend that's what's holding us up, because we're also just
waiting around.
You were talking about you at the post count, and then I started.
Yeah, and
give me trouble.
The first step is of course internal discussion, which we've had at great length over the last several years. It's something that we've wanted to do. I'll say again that certain things kind of became a sharp impetus for this to kind of to fast track it, to move it along. One of those things was Caledonia. When we brought back Caledonia, everyone was, a number of very vocal individuals were just very pleased with how readily accessible the action was. Now, in a lot of cases, it was problematic because that zone is quite small, and while it's conducive to really quick action, it's also frustrating for some people. So when you have, close to 1,000 people running around, you're going to need an area larger than Caledonia, but you're not going to need an area quite as large as the entirety of New Frontiers. So we're not eliminating zones, but the objective is to effectively shrink the battlefield by basically creating thoroughfares, bottlenecks. People like those, that mile gate action. We've discussed permanent portal keeps. We've discussed, Agramon being a kind of a major player in this. nothing is concrete, but like I said, it's the next task for us to determine, to identify what is going to help keep RVR amazing going into the future, for the range of population that we see, because some days you'll just have tons of players out there and it'll be really zergy. Some days you'll have a lot of 8-mans running around. Some days there just won't be very many people at all. And what we want is to create a system that ideally functions very well under all of those circumstances and for several player types. So that's it. It's not a small task. It's not an easy task, but we are looking forward to. We need your help, because you guys are the ones that are going to be playing as much as we are, and we want to get everyone's way in. And so after we're finished with the initial planning with our trusty internal board members, the conversation will slowly creep out onto the boards and onto the forums and hopefully other avenues that we establish to maintain communication between you, the player, and we, the devs. And we have a lot of people, just as a matter of course, submitting suggestions.
How would you like them to submit those to? Just continue to post on like PostNet?
Post count is
that's what I meant.
Is a great.
Sure.
Listen to you.
I really didn't even mean to mess it up.
You and your latent hostility. It's oh god, am I speaking like a chipmunk now? I pressed the button on my crazy headphones.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Post count is a great way to to bring the community together. Feedback via the feedback forum on the Camelot Herald is a great way to submit your perspectives directly to us. I want to go ahead and remind everyone that you don't receive a response to feedback. We apologize for that. It's just we prefer a more controlled developer community correspondence, and feedback is a one-way street. But we love it. We read it daily, and some of the ideas are a bit more eccentric than others. Some of them are downright impossible. Some of them are excellent, and changes in this game have been made as a direct result of them. So keep it up. Keep leaving that feedback, and we'll keep reading it.
All right. Another thing that is really near and dear, I'd say, to a lot of players' hearts, and it hasn't been around for quite a while. And any guess where I'm going with this one?
Hit me.
Herald.
Yes.
In a lot of newer games are actually starting to make things, and I know it takes a lot of development resources to kind of do that stuff.
Well,
but to be outside the game, to tie back into the game.
I will tell you that since the last time we talked about it, we've made progress, and what we're doing at this moment, actually a discussion was had today at some high levels, and what we're doing right now is we're scoping out the extent of the work that's going to be required to get the Herald back up and running in the way that it used to. And, barring anything, insane and kind of out of left field, it's something that is now on the books for development, for implementation. So you will be getting your old Herald back. It's just a matter of time. We've already completed a feature list, and that feature list contains most, if not all, of the things that everyone has been missing, such as player information, guild rosters, top RP earners, top for the week, top all time. So I'm really excited about that, because
I think a lot of people are. I think we could stop the stream right there. Right. You'd have enough happy people that it would have been worth their time for coming out tonight. Thanks for coming out, everybody.
You guys are
back.
definitely not the only ones that have been missing it. I can tell you that much, because it's something that we've been fighting for a long time, and the fight is going well. I think just kind of outlast everyone. Just keep dancing around, and they'll get tired.
All right. I'm going to answer a question directly out of chat right now so people understand that we are paying attention to them. Drexel, it is so ridiculously easy to level up a character to 50 anymore that you could do it within a couple weekends, because you have all these different quests within the battlegrounds that all you really have to do is make loops, and you can start gaining 5 levels every hour or so. It's just get a couple people, make a character go with them, and it's not much. So they put those quests in the game to assist people to level up, and it makes it very worthwhile. And make sure you stop in RVR along the way too, because it's fun to do it at the different, the different popular BGs along the way. Hadaraki, Gathel Valley, Molvik.
Look at you. You're like a consummate Daok professional now.
I know. What's going on with that?
So, as tradition dictates, our esteemed internal board members, Card and Edebrecca, have assembled questions from the community. Very deep gratitude to both of you for doing that. And
yes,
thank you to the folks on post count and in game for submitting your questions. And at some point during this evening, we will get around to answering them to the best of our ability.
Or you watch Talal dance. So hopefully we can. I just turned my DAC associates. Can we go kill something? I'm really interested in going to kill things.
You guys are having a little commune there. That's
or
cool.
die. They want a shout out to cheesecake. I'm a big fan of cheesecake. It's a lot of work to get to be a fatty. It doesn't just happen overnight. Cheesecake helps the process. Sweet, sweet cheesecake. Alright, the next thing on the list after the Herald was artifacts. Some artifacts have lost almost all practical use over the years, while some remain to be quite powerful. Any chances that we could see a revision to most or all of them? Maybe some balance. I know you don't want to talk about balance, but just balance out the artifacts where they're all useful and not just some are like, eh, and then some are like, I gotta get it and covet it.
There are no plans right now to revise, revamp, upgrade artifacts. The one thing, and I think I said this last time, the one thing that we can do is just make them quicker and more easy to level.
I think my group left me as I was talking to you.
That's what you get.
Oh, I was like, hey, let's go kill stuff, and then they said, yeah, we're gonna bounce without you. They came to ask me stuff. You oh. I have to find where they ported to.
So yeah, it's a little anticlimactic to put together a great template and then realize that you have to get your Shades of Mist or your Malice or your Battler or your to level 10, which requires PvE, and if you just want to RVR, it's pretty slow going. So another one of our initiatives that we've been talking about and have wanted to complete for a long time now is just simply making RVR more rewarding. And by rewarding, I mean to create an avenue for getting all the things that you need for RVR readiness via RVR. So you don't have to, so people won't be constrained by the requirement of PvE. And it's not to say that we don't love PvE in the game. I think there is some fantastic encounters. I've always loved the PvE in this game, but some people don't. Some people, respect it, but have played this game long enough to have basically done their time, and they just want to get, if they want to try out a new class, they want to try out a new realm. we started that process by allowing players to level through the battlegrounds and have that be a rewarding experience. And the next part of that process is, increasing, just for the sake of example, increasing the rewards, like the coin rewards that you get per kill in RVR, or the amount of experience that you get per kill in RVR, which will apply towards your champion levels and towards your artifact experience, and maybe RVR related content that goes a long way to assisting you in bypassing some of those PvE speed bumps that some people would prefer to just kind of blow straight past.
What are your feelings on stealthers?
I mean, they're a part of the game, and we ask 10 people, get 10 answers, right?
Yeah.
If you play a stealther, then you feel like you're not powerful enough. If you are constantly the victim of stealthers, then you feel like they're overpowered. They've been a part of this game since launch, and there are some people out there that are just happy to nuke them off of the face of the game, but we're not going to do that. This game is interesting because of the variety of classes, because the classes aren't mirrored, because there's a counterpoint. If someone is killing you, and if you're not just running around overpowered and killing everybody else, then I'd say that there's something fairly intriguing about that. I say we've struck some kind of harmony with the game, where your weak spot, your vulnerability, can be I don't want to say abused because that's the wrong word, but be affected by another class. And people talk about the stealthster, and I think that stealthers have, just as a matter of kind of instinct and evolution, have started to band together because they realize that's the most effective way that they can play. They'll get the most ROM points per session if they stick together and form up a group. And yeah, it's frustrating sometimes if you walk across the same bridge 4 times and get killed by the same group of stealthers, but maybe don't walk across that bridge anymore, at least not for the next little while, because you can probably expect the same thing to happen. Bring a bigger group, and those stealthers, once they've run out of their tricks, they have the advantage of stealth, and they have what abilities and kind of skills that they have available to them, but once they blow through them, they're just as vulnerable as any other class. So my feeling on stealthers is that they make the game more interesting. There was a station for them, a position, a responsibility back in old frontiers. People will talk about the golden age, where before there was a realm war map, before there was this kind of all-encompassing communication, and stealthers, it was the purpose, the position, the responsibility of a stealther to kind of do recon, to kind of run out ahead of the groups and the incursion party, to call out enemy movement, to report back, and to kind of put themselves in harm's way to the aid of the realm. And sure, I think a lot of us miss those days, and now I wouldn't say that never happens anymore, but it certainly doesn't happen in the way that it used to. And we've had discussions about making stealthers more groupable, but when 50% of the complaints are that stealth groups are too crazy overpowered, and no one's gonna it's very rare to find a traditional 8-man, with the tanks and
You have
casters
the same
and
problem
healers.
in other games with healers.
Yeah.
I mean, healers want to stay out of sight of the group so they can heal a group and get more, RP or whatever mechanic they're using in that game. So, it's not just unique to
No, I wouldn't
Dark
think
Age
so.
Camelot. All right, so moving on from the stealth, I guess another one is that the topic was Maulers. They've been shelved for quite some time now since changes were promised with 1114B. What do you feel needs to be done with this class to make it worthwhile for a group to pick up or for a player to take out solo?
Since we're working on that, I'm going to ask you guys to wait.
Okay.
You're going to see that information in the patch notes when 1.114B comes out.
If we don't start doing something, I'm just going to run and just see if people follow me because I'm tired of standing on this keep. I'm just throwing it out there now. I'm just going to find something on the map and run at it. Follow me. I don't know where we're going, but it's got to be better than standing around there for the next hour. Okay. Adding currencies. Additional currencies are a touchy subject. Discuss what your thoughts are on how adding this affects player economy, content, and availability. Discuss the pros and cons that come out of adding additional currencies to the game.
At this point, they're primarily cons. There are too many currencies in the game. We had discussed consolidation. Basically, right now, for the most part, with only a few exceptions, there's a currency for every expansion or campaign that we've done where unique items for encounters had been implemented. So you can get, roots in Galadoria, you get ice in Tuscaran Glacier, you get souls in Care City, you get dragon scales for killing any number of dragons in all 3 realms and in the frontiers and in the labyrinth. You have Atlantean glass. You have seals in Darkness Falls. Aralite in the catacombs areas. So it's really just a ton of currencies to juggle, and adding another one isn't really going to help matters much. So really going the opposite way is something that I think might have a benefit, especially for new or returning players, because you ask a question about how to get put together a decent template, and if that decent template involves items from a couple of expansions, if you got some Dragon Slayer items mixed with some Epic Dungeon items mixed with some artifacts, then you're going to be talking about either grinding out those encounters manually or obtaining, what ends up being 4 or 5 currencies just to get your template together. And plat, I think, should be the ultimate currency. You should be able to get what you need for plat, and that's why on in our open market system, our free market system, you can buy these currencies for plat, and some people spend their kind of game lives, their time in Dark Age is spent just farming for these currencies so that they can make the plat that they need to play the game that they want to play. So my feeling is no more additional alternate currencies.
What are your feelings on crafting?
I've mentioned what we wanted to do with legendaries. That's a little bit down the road. We've had people ask about bringing back, or finishing, I should say, jewel crafting. That's just not going to happen. Crafting the way it is, at least compared to the way it used to be, is kind of a walk in the park. It's just a time sink, and it's still necessary. Most of the great templates out there require at least 1 piece of player crafted armor, which is then spellcrafted. And then if it has charges and things of that nature, it's recharged by an alchemist. So you've got your most of your crafts covered right there: armor crafter, tailor, spellcrafter, alchemist, and a lot of people use crafted weapons to, to round out their templates or to put charges on them. And there's your armor crafters right there. So, and every once in a while, we put up bonuses for specific holidays or events, and during those times, you can actually craft quite a bit faster. So, my advice would be to take advantage of those times and kind of LGM as many trade skills rather as you can. But currently, no plans to really expand crafting. It's going to stay the way that it is for the time being.
Okay, and on that note, I just want to remind everybody, if you're not already, make sure you're following the stream. There should be a little button. They kind of changed the layout of the Twitch page, so I don't know, depending on the style you're looking at, it's going to be above me or below me. But either way, there should be a little button that says follow. You need to click on that. Make sure you're following the channel. Or if you're on mmorpg.com/streams, there should be something underneath that says click on that and you'll go to Twitch if you're not already following, and follow to Twitch. And make sure you're following, and then I will give away a few time cards here. Probably by a few I mean like 5 in a few minutes, but I can't give them to you if you're not following the stream because it won't let me. That's the way it works. So you got a few minutes while we're beating on this keep gate, or door I should say.
Do I have a few minutes?
Well, you continue to talk, and you could actually talk about, we already talked about necromancers, that was actually one of the topics. We can skip down past that.
There's
Item tradability.
Well, there's a question in region chat right now.
Okay.
It's a very simple question with a very simple answer, and it's
Go
from
for it.
the lover.
And
the lover asks, what I want to know is, are there any more expansions planned?
Nice.
With deep regret, the lover, no, not as of right now. Campaigns are a possibility in the future. Something, like the earlier Dragon campaign and the more recent Pict campaign. But no immediate plans. Nothing is being slated right now. I've basically given the priorities, and we'd like to throw as much as we can on the NF revamp because I believe that's where more players will be impacted the most, is with a New Frontiers revamp.
I think that you're right. Oh, we got a lot of people out here. And card, hold on a second, I'm going to follow you real quick. I'm having a hard time finding my mouse on this white screen. All the snow. And then I will give away those time cards I promised. Roll the dice. Tablones. Tavlones. I will email you when we are done here, and it will show up in your email account that you have registered with Twitch. So congratulations.
Congrats to you.
That's one. Let's roll again. Ulf. ULPH. Congratulations. Cybus. The dude wins every time. Every time I have a giveaway, they gotta win something. But you know what that means? He's like here every time.
Yep. And we're grateful to him.
There you go. Oh my God, mid for life. That's what you get for being mid. You're not following. You can follow. I'll be doing this again. You might win again. Anatar 11. ANNATAR 11. Everybody's fighting. I'm just standing here giving away shit. And card. Card, you don't get one. Trick 02. TRIQ 02. And yeah, card really did.
Card, you just got owned.
Seeing he's a member of your internal forums, I figured that you probably already might have let him get a couple of those from time to time.
Card is a valuable member of our community, and we would be remiss if we didn't bestow upon him gestures of appreciation.
He wants to know why he's not a mod.
That's on your end, sir.
Thanks, Goji. Because all you do is show up for these everything. I don't know why you're not a mod. Because it doesn't make you one. QQ. That should be a rule. Don't ask to be a mod. If you ask to be a mod, I'm not going to make you one.
Think about all of the times that Card gave you all the free equipment.
I already modded him. So.
Oh, okay.
That's like a rule, though. Alright, and I'm not dead, I'm alive. Someone gave me a Fallen Soldier's Rage, DPS 16.5. How am I not? What the? We'll put it on. It's flashy, they say. There we go.
You know.
Thank you, Goji. I appreciate it.
Form over function.
Exactly.
It's Scraculin style.
Well, it's, you know, how you gonna,
it's prettier.
How you gonna turn away gifts from the community? Just like, oh, I don't want it.
That's true.
I don't want it. It's not as powerful as what I got.
It's very insulting.
So why am I not climbing this corner here? I got my climate spikes on. I thought I could do that. I thought that's one of the things that heavy tanks did. Put your climb spikes on, and then you go and climb. There we go. Because I apparently didn't know what I was doing.
You're climbing just fine.
I thought I clicked the ability like 3 times before it actually went off. I'll take the blame for that. Go back here. Oh, never mind. You're on my team.
So just to recap a few of the things that were mentioned at the beginning of the stream. For those of you that may not have heard the news, the Mordred transfers are now live. You can transfer from Mordred or Camelot, which is the European PvP server, directly to a Ywain of your choice. Currently it is only open to level 50 characters. However, that will change this Friday, as in the day after tomorrow, where all other characters may transfer. So if you've got sub 50 characters kind of withering away on Mordred, don't worry, they'll be liberated on Friday. And also on Friday, you're going to see a few. So let me talk a little bit about how that process works for any of those out there that have Mordred characters and are considering coming back to transfer. When you leave Mordred, you take nothing but your plat with you. You get of course your stats, your titles, your quest completions, and all of that stuff, and whatever money you can hold. However, you may not transfer with any physical items whatsoever. So when you get to Ywain, you're going to be quite naked. And what we have for you there is a giant NPC named for our esteemed friend and the gatekeeper of Mordred, Damien. He has been a champion of the Mordred players for so many years. He was the guy on the forums and our internal boards just fighting the good fight for a long time, trying to make sure that Mordred players got a fair shake. And for his dedication and his efforts, he's going to be immortalized in the game as a giant NPC in the image of Mordred. So when you log into Mordred now, it's in an archived state, you will be transported from wherever you were to the housing region of your realm. And you can then switch between the different realms' housing region if your house happens to be on a different realm, or your guild house or what have you. Take all of your items, sell them to an NPC merchant, consolidate all of your money, and then speak with Damien, the NPC, who will provide to you a quest which makes you eligible for transfer. And then you will proceed to type the /free exfer command, space the Ywain of your choice, and it will take you will log out of the client completely, not just a character select, and your transfer will take place. And when you arrive on Uwain, now bear in mind you can only complete the eligibility quest from within the realm housing area specific to you, so you can't log out in mid as a HIB and then terrorize housing. When you log into Uwain, you will make your way to the housing entrance for your realm, and you will find a familiar face, the giant image of Mordred with Damien's name, and he will give you a quest, which will give you a basic welcome package, and that includes you're going to get 20 plat in 4 or 5 plat coins. You'll get a villa deed, so you can place a villa, and you will get a trophy, a Camelot 10-year trophy, and a bottomless dye pot, so you can have an infinite realm associated colors to dye the armor that you get. When you get there, all of the basic housing items, housing vaults, the crafting tables, the forge, the lathe, and the alchemy table, the bindstone, and a consignment merchant have all been made free for everybody, not just for Mordred players. So you will not incur that cost. Set down your house, buy your free vault and everything, get yourself set up, and then make your way to, there are 2 merchants currently, or rather 2 NPCs in the housing entrance area. One of them will reset, as of right now, 2 of your, it will reset your eligibility to obtain your champion weapon, and reset your eligibility to obtain your Dragon Slayer weapon. And for convenience, the Dragon Slayer NPC has been placed right next to that merchant so that you can reset your quest, go get your Dragon Slayer weapon, but for your champion weapon you will have to go to the throne room. And then by Friday there are a bunch of other items which players have been asking for, which we are going to return, like the foil hat of Swirling Thoughts. You have your SI necklace, medals of honor, and certain other quest related items. One-time drops, I'm afraid, not possible because they're tradable. And the epic armor, you can go to the king and get yourself a new set of epic armor and all the accessories and weapons as well.
Okay, hey, just for some of the people that are just now tuning in, I'm looking at people in chat saying, hey, what about warlocks, what about these classes? A lot of these things have been asked before already tonight alone. So just because you're spamming a region, your question that we've already answered, doesn't mean that we're ignoring you because we're not asking it again.
Sure, I mean,
so,
we have no problem.
I'm just trying to address the people because there's just going crazy in region about the warlocks, and that's one of the first things we talked about. So
sure.
Go back, for those of you that are saying, hey, you're not listening, we already talked about it.
Okay.
You can watch the VOD tomorrow or on next Wednesday. So the answer's there. We're not ignoring you, I promise. We just got a lot of stuff to get through. So. And for the person who said, oh, he looks like he hates us. No, I hated that little kobold who kept jumping in and out of that door and almost died. I couldn't get him. That's what I hated, not the game. All right, cut you off there. We just got done talking about item tradability, and we have questions, and we have specific questions, and we have the name of the person who asked them.
Shoot, fire away.
Pharrell wants to know about the mid-starter area. There are no throwing weapons available. As a pure melee, you can only body pull them. Wants to know if he can get a throwing weapon or something, do some range pulls.
Sure.
Sure, just for you.
Just for you.
Deal.
We'll get that in, because it's a perfectly reasonable suggestion.
It's very good. And I'm going to run back into the fight. Why am I so slow? Alright, sprint. You know what I forgot to get? I forgot to get a horse. Of course, of course. Alright, the next one comes from Dreamscape. They want to know if we can take Astral and Dragon items, give them a different skin, rename them, and have them drop from higher level mobs in DF.
As for the reskinning and renaming, I don't know if that's absolutely necessary. We are in the process of making those specific encounter-related loot tables available on other encounters. We've talked about that. That's one of our features that we have on the list for there are major tasks like the NF revamp, like big major class balance changes, and then there are certain things which we can do with comparative ease. Not to say that they're really easy and can be done in a day, but they don't have quite the scope and scale of the big development features. So something like that we could do, and we are doing. So you can look for, and it's going to involve a little bit more internal discussion as to what goes where. But this is just an example. You could look to astral weapons dropping off of another dragon, let's say, or another high-level encounter. Some very fervent suggestions about infernal sleeves dropping off Legion to make that encounter a bit more viable again. Places like the Summoner's Hall, where the encounters were just relatively recently updated to be a bit more difficult, a bit more interesting, a bit more challenging. We can add some interesting loot tables to that as well. So that's the approach that we're going to take to that concept.
For anybody that's watching and is an alb, we are cut off. Those of us that have passed away that had to release. There is about, well, you just saw, there's like 8 to 10 hibs. Block out the path. So if you want to go roll some faces, come back here and teleport with me, and we'll go kill a couple people. And that was kill a couple people, and it came out like I wish I could teleport just to towers.
Just the towers?
Yeah, that'd be so sweet.
There are 84 towers in New Frontiers.
I would hope you know the answer to that question.
Yeah. That's what I said, there are 84 towers in New Frontiers.
Yeah. Alrighty. And while we're waiting on that, since we got a downside, this person's going to want a t-shirt. Who's going to be? Who's going to be? Nordics. You want a t-shirt. Congratulations. It's just that easy. I'll put you over here. T-shirts. Nordics. And this person gets a time card. Oh, no you don't, because you're not following.
Uh-oh.
Penny VGP.
Congratulations.
Oh, you know what card can win? We could give Card a poster from earlier.
Sure, we'll give
you can just
Card
mail
a
that to him
poster.
directly off the way.
Alright, I'll do that.
There you
Card,
go,
you
Card.
get a poster.
I got you a poster. Thank me later. Just kidding with you. Alright, Saxona wants to know, have you reconsidered your thoughts on finishing the Molvik Battleground on Geharis after effectively removing many and counting worthwhile PvE from the game from Geharis? They apparently happy about Geharis.
They are apparently unhappy about Geharis? Is that what you said?
Well, that's what it seems like. They've called you out
Yeah.
for removing worthwhile PvE encounters.
Well, mea culpa. Geharis doesn't receive quite as much love as Uwain does. We do our best, but generally most of the encounters and a lot of the content is developed for the regular normal rule set and then altered and tailored to make it functional on Geharis. In a lot of cases, especially recently, some of that hasn't translated, and for that, we apologize. We can absolutely look at doing something that is Geharis only. I feel like maybe one of these segments should have been a Geharis segment. Don't know that we'd have quite the population, but it probably wouldn't be any worse than a battleground where you're not going to have quite as many people as New Frontiers. But there are some pretty redeeming qualities about Geharis that normal rule set players probably don't realize. It's fun to be in an environment where it's kind of you versus the horde, and the combination of different realms abilities, kind of an inter-realm group is pretty astonishing. That's what made Mordred such a unique and interesting place to RVR, is the templates that you can put together with multi-realm items and the group setups that which you could conceive with across the realm with cross-realm classes. It's a bit astonishing. So Geharis, we'll look out for you. We'll do our best. We would love feedback, because a lot of the feedback that we get is a heads up that something may not be working on Geharis, but we don't really get ideas as to how we may improve Geharis for you, the Geharis player.
The next one is it's from Nivix, and it has to deal with Old Frontiers. Why not section up Old Frontiers main and briefing? I probably said that wrong. And turn it into a battleground for level 50 players, or even for all level ranges.
Because.
There you go. It's the best answer all night, because I said so. So I tell my kids because I said so.
Apologies, New Frontiers, rather Old Frontiers, not scheduled for. While the concept is sound, it's not slated for development. Go back to because if you want.
I like that one.
Okay.
Aleen's wants to know, where are the class nerfs coming in? I think that should have been
where?
when, but it says where are the class nerfs coming in?
In the middle of the Irish Sea.
Oh, they're bombing us. I died. Oh. But I got a rest. Thank you much. And then Packer, could we see some possible use out of DFCs in the future? Something along the lines of trading them in for a different currency, or just for money?
Yes, that's one of the things that I feel pretty strongly about. We talked about that.
Yes.
Just a few minutes ago. Consolidation is definitely something that we want to look at. So, and a lot of people have a lot of seals stacked up, and at this point they're not worth as much, because things which they purchase are just not top of the line anymore. So yeah, we could consider options. There's a question in chat here. With the revamping of NF, are you going to think about putting double-decker bridges back into the game? Keep the design you have, but add a new layer, no ladders. No, the revamp that we're discussing doesn't involve new art. We're not going to keep layouts. We're not going to. It's going to take what we have and to the best of our ability to rearrange the flow of RVR so that action becomes more easily accessible and different playstyles are kind of bolstered and made more enjoyable. So it's not, again, just to be perfectly clear, when we say revamp, it's not in the order of switching from old frontiers to new frontiers or putting in entirely new keeps like we did last time. This is kind of a shuffling, in the same way that we kind of shuffled the relic system. That's the kind of change that you can expect to see. where we didn't really add anything, we just changed the dynamic and the mechanics. Something like that is what you can expect.
Cool. Hey, is Stern back, or is he still hiding? So he was AFK a second ago. We're gonna run off without him. Hibs to the west. Find him. 30 hibs. He's back, alright. You know what I wish I could do? I wish I could get nameplates to load further away. That'd be sweet. Just throw that out there.
Is your clip plane set to far? Because if it's set to near, I'm going to have everybody mock you endlessly.
Figure clip plane. Far.
Good. Marty actually responded to that question during the last segment.
I just want to ask again.
It's an engineering task which has with it implications that make it not feasible for for production, for implementation. And it's not just as simple as it's kind of, there's client issues involved. There's packets, information, stability. It's all very technical, Rob.
Yeah. Alrighty. Neo 2741 asked about new campaign, but we just talked about that a few minutes ago when someone asked about the expansion. So
yeah,
basically
nothing on the slate. Yeah, nothing on the slate right now, but down the road.
Magi, can we get more titles to fill in the gaps for certain levels of achievements and for having multiple crafts?
Titles are something that I have a specific viewpoint on, and I definitely don't want to project strictly my sensibilities on the development of this game, but I take issue with games that reward titles with impunity. In this game, there are a few titles which, when earned, are indicative of a remarkable achievement. I suppose getting LGM in every single craft warrants a title. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but and this is something that the player base would, I would entreat them to help us out on how they feel about titles, because we've been reluctant to kind of just arbitrarily add in titles in the game because, if you have 200 titles to choose from, and if they're really easy to get, then what are they worth? But if I walk around and I'm playing and I see Slayer of whatever realm, I mean that's one hell of a thing to achieve. That's killing 100,000 members of the enemy realm, and even Scourge of realm is a lone enforcer. Also takes a little bit less time, but is still a tremendous achievement. I think that's 2,000 solo kills. And it's hard. That's really hard. It's difficult to do. Even if it was your objective to specifically just solo, some people coming in and kind of AJing. So I'd like to keep the sanctity of titles, as pure as possible, but at the same time, if there is something for which a title is, appropriate, then sure, absolutely.
All right, Card keeps wanting me to ask you about some kind of endurance pot bug.
The endo bug, yes, we had with 1.114a a fix that we were hoping was going to resolve the endurance bug, but it looks like in certain situations, but now in kind of different situations, it's occurring. So we're tracking down the cause for this thing. I can only apologize. We'll get it eventually. It's a tough one though, so and we're looking into it. As today we had a long discussion about it, and it's a simple fact that it's so difficult to reproduce that that's what makes it so elusive. So we have a couple of leads right now where we think the problem might be. So,
All right.
yeah, Marty's doing his thing.
For the chat room, they want to know, is there any sort of implementation to make it more rewarding to play an underpopulated realm?
Realm loyalty bonuses, realm population bonuses. Yeah, we've talked about those. It's one of those kind of, I don't want to say a sensitive subject, but it's a subject that we keep rotating back to. And as of right now, it's not on our initiative plate for the near future, but it's definitely on our, to-do list. The outcry has been minimal, and so from our perspective, we're not dealing with a situation where the population, disparity is making the game untenable. So if that's not the case, and if it's happening, and there's just no vocal, majority or even minority speaking up about it, then that's where we insist on feedback. Because we jump in the game, we get certain cross sections, as players, and sure, on any given night, one realm may be more populated than the other, but when you've played for as long as we have, it just seems normal. You're never going to have exactly the same amount of people in each realm. And what we used to do is we would translate an underpopulated realm's status. The reward would be the ability to reach 50 faster by reducing the amount of time that it took for you to get a free level from 7 days down to 3 days if you were the lowest pop realm. And if you were the high pop realm, you had to wait 7 days for your next free level. That was kind of normalized across the board. And it was around when population wasn't really swinging the way that it used to. But if more players are coming back and there's a big disadvantage to playing a certain realm, then it's something that we need to take a look at.
Good question I saw down here is that, a lot of people understand at this point in the game, you're dealing with limited resources. I mean, everybody is, depending on, it's not like it's just you. But since everybody works on a budget, is there a chance that we could ever see new character models or armor models introduced into the game?
It's a chance, but it's not a big one or a good one.
Yeah.
Not right now anyway. There are more pressing issues. The outcry has always been, let's fix what's broken before we add new things. So that's the philosophy that we embrace. And while we understand that it's important to keep content fresh and to add new and exciting things into the game, there's a lot of time dedicated to the behind-the-scenes stuff that people never really see. Server stability and things of that nature. Client fixes for pesky problems. I personally would love to see upgrades to our UI. I would prioritize that over a new playable race or a playable class. Because I think, as it stands, the game is sound. The game is appealing. It's fun to play. And I just want to make the experience more palatable for new players and returning players, because when you come from fancy modern MMOs and the functionality that players are accustomed to isn't available with our UI, it's sad. It's sad to see them go specifically for that reason. So I would prioritize that first.
You do have community members, though, that have done a wonderful job with adding some different functionality and
sure
to the UI. So
for a long time,
yeah,
Emerical, Doritas, Ghosts, Gore, Bob's UI. These folks are not lost on us. We absolutely appreciate what they do to make the game better.
Here's an interesting question, and it comes from Lord Earl. Is it possible to introduce an NPC to remove levels?
Nope. Functionally,
that was a simple one.
Yeah, functionally impossible. That does bad things.
And I knew the answer to that before I asked, and only because we have run into numerous times where we wish we could de-level. And
yeah, it's not a political answer. It is it's an absolutely practical answer. It's just
no one's tricking you with this one.
Yeah, just can't be done.
Yeah. Let's see. And on that note, let's see. Roll again. A day. Congratulations. You get a time card. EDAYY. Pays to follow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We went away 7. We got 15. Pequisto.
Congrats.
Pequisto. Pequisto.
Congratulations to you.
Oh, got some that wasn't following.
Shame on them.
Shiza. SCHBCZA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 6 more. We'll give some away here in a little bit. And there's Card. Follow me, Card. Me and you, buddy. We're gonna... I think I know where we're gonna go this time. I don't know the name of that place. Oh, I do. Because I learned how to use a map. Okay, let's see. A druid or regrowth warden. Cybus, will there ever be a one-time feature to change your game name? He's a rank 12. I just thought he was some guy that liked hanging out, watching us.
That is something that is possible. We could come up with a clever way to do that. Traditionally, historically, it's not necessarily a service that we provided, but there's no good reason if the process were automated and we discovered that we could automate that process fairly easily, then sure. Some people choose names very carefully. Some people choose them with impunity and then realize that they are attached to their character and that they don't like their name. And I feel for those people, and would like to get them a solution to change their name. It would be mean-spirited to say, well, you picked it, you got to live with it. It's not the attitude that I think is helpful to anyone. So
really, I think it's kind of great.
You like the latter?
Yeah.
You picked it, live with it.
You picked it. Deal with it.
That's the Marine in you.
Reroll. I'm just kidding. Yeah. They're like, let's not say it outside so we don't get blown up.
Does this dev have throat cancer? No, this dev is just very tired.
Smokes a lot of cigarettes. What, if anything, is on the current development roadmap to promote, support, or enhance guild and alliance structure, particularly to span the gap across demographic lines? Rich, poor, casual, hardcore, skilled, baddie, veteran, new, VIX. That was a lot of question.
That is a lot of question.
I said demographics and shit, and I was like, were we gerrymandering the player base?
I mean, we've done something recently by upgrading the the guild merit bonuses, making them more accessible and allowing you to run multiple bonuses simultaneously. That is the first, we've always had guild, I guess, guild appeal in our minds, in our plans for the future, but based on the way that guilds were set up, I don't want to say limiting, but there are limiting factors to what we can do without wholesale revamp of guilds, which at this point unfortunately can't be done. We can talk about how guilds can be modified to create more incentive and appeal. So yes, we could plan, is there anything in the development roadmap after bonuses? No, not at this point, but Vix is an internal board member, so we can start that discussion, absolutely.
Got some combat out here. We got some bearhead people running around. Got some more Celts. They need to die. Come back here. Come back here. Dirty Celt. Alright, will archery be looked at given that most shots are apparently useless in RBR now?
I reject the premise of that question.
Rejects the premise of the question. Okay, will archery be looked at given that most shots are a little bit less powerful than what some players feel they should be in RBR?
Let's scroll down to the question that asks us why archery is so overpowered. Where is that one?
When are the Hibernian demonic Osnudurth sleeves Molvik melee going to get fixed? Currently, they're missing 5 heat.
Tomorrow.
All the heat is on the point of my weapon, by the way. Notice that glow effect?
If that's true, then that's one of those easy wins. So, Lord Earl, take a look at that item. Take a look at it tomorrow, and if it's as you say, then we will resolve that issue for you.
Skip bound.
I wish that somebody would ask me about bindstones in the labyrinth.
They are. They are.
Rob.
People are
Rob.
scrolling through that. Yes. Bindstones in the labyrinth.
Rob, I'm messing with you.
Oh, because I'm dead. So I was like, wait, I see that question a lot. Plans to get rid of bindstones. Hello. Hi. How are you? I can't do anything about your bindstone problem, but I can roll again, see if I give away a time card. Ambient.
Everything will be fixed by the provision of time cards.
AMBII. My handwriting looks good. Didn't do well in grammar school, I guess. Rum with an N. R-U-M-N.
Congratulations, R-U-M-N.
Yes.
R-U-M-N.
Vixer, V-Y-X-X-R. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Congratulations.
Ooh, someone's gonna res me. Haha. This is what happens. Give away free stuff, people res you. Bye-bye, Meow. You have a very, very intelligent name. Listen here, Meow.
McBeeve, some epic armor have double bonuses on them, like the Minstrel Epic Boots and the Shadowblade Epic. Were these created with a purpose, or are they bugged and will be fixed down the road? We'll take a look at them. Some of them, there were some errors in the epics because they were done and then redone fairly quickly before the 1.114A. So there were a few things that were missed. So I'll write those down and take a look at them tomorrow.
Kai Loop. Alright. There we go. Cut the group. And Bay Blues, you want a card too. I rolled that for you. We've actually made our way through the list of questions and the topics. So now it's pretty much people in the chat room. What you got? If it's about balance, it's probably just don't, because it's not going to get asked. That's kind of like the ground rule. Other than that, pretty well free game.
Also, back to the number of question marks. If there's more than 3 question marks, then I'm unable to answer that question.
General principle alone will prevent us from asking that question. We understand how the English language works. If you end a sentence with a question mark, it's probably a question.
Right, 1 will suffice.
Yes. And if you make it 2 question marks, it's a double negative. 3 question marks is overkill. So, let's see.
Chroniac, we've actually talked about arenas. I concur with your opinion that they would be fun in this game, but that's not happening anytime soon. If it's going to happen, it's not going to happen soon. But trust me, we've had discussions at great lengths.
Oh, I ran off the top. Gonna die. Still want to push for more events to get people out and active. Well, here's something that I'll throw out to you then. Do you guys, on a monthly basis, do a return to a battleground at level 50?
Do we, or will we?
Well, if the question is will we, I infer that you don't. But
yes,
the question was, will you?
That is a reasonable inference. It basically is keep your finger on the pulse of the player base, and eventually there is kind of a build-up, and we see kind of an increase in a request for a weekend BG event, and then we resolve that request with BG weekend event. The last one we did was Capital Valley, I believe, and the next one I will leave to our fine players.
Awesome. I see a question here from Rum. In other MMOs, there's been introductions of current races allowed to become different classes they can't today. Will they ever see something like that? That has happened. Lurkeens have been allowed to be different Blade Masters. Blade Masters, yes. Trolls being Shadow Blades? I don't know about that.
You really want a 2-handed perf from a troll Shadow Blade, honestly? Because I don't. I really don't. Yes, we are talking about, and I'll go ahead and say that we will open up additional races to classes. That's since the last time we did that fairly recently, did that just a few months ago. We'll wait a little while and talk about the implications of what we have planned next.
All right. Oh, there's my friends. I lost my friends. I found my friends because they died. I think we're going to have enough time that we're going to make one more. I'm not giving you my coin, Zooks. Sorry. One last jaunt into the new frontiers and see if we can get a few more kills in. And while I'm waiting for my teleport.
Bov, because you've been patient, I'm not sure if you were listening at the beginning of the stream. Yes, we are looking at Reavers for 1.114b. You're going to have to keep your eye on the Herald for the patch notes for 1.114b for details.
Taralom, you won the last time card. Taralom.
Vixer race respects with apologies, no.
Is that like a race change?
Yeah, like changing your race.
It's a very interesting respec. You could always sell it to them. People pay Blizzard big money all the time.
If you
don't
believe that we've discussed every angle, then
you should have charged it for Mordred. Yeah, we'll let you off $25.
We should charge you per question.
Me?
Yes, actually, sure.
Yeah.
Charge you.
Yeah. I think it'd be vice versa. We should charge you for every question. No, I'm just kidding. That being said, let's see. We got a T-shirt to give away, and oh my God, they don't follow.
Ah, man, tragic.
We'll just
Lost
have to
out on
wait.
a t-shirt.
Or maybe I'll just keep it for myself. Oh, another one that doesn't follow. All right, because apparently some people didn't get the memo, and hopefully you've come in. I'll give you a few more minutes. Follow the channel if you're not already, and then I will update the list, and we will re-roll. But the last two people in a row I've got weren't following, so. Since we're running down on time, what are a few things that you would like to make sure that everybody out there knows?
Just that mortgage transfers are live, and they will be basically complete in that all level ranges and all the appropriate NPCs for item replacement will be up and running on Friday, which is the day after tomorrow. Currently, you can transfer your level 50. Next up on the plate is 1.114b. That's the class balance patch. I'm not going to go through the list again because you can watch this stream, or I mean I can, just very quickly. Warlocks are being redesigned, Rangers are getting a boost, Maulers are being looked at, Reavers are being adjusted, and near sight and disease, the duration is being reduced across the board. We're still working out the specifics, and after that we've got we're taking a look at New Frontiers and how we can make it better and more accessible. There's a question here that we missed from Old Boy, and it asks, when will the kids get off my lawn?
Probably never, because they're kids.
I think I have a good answer for that. I'm going to personally change every single personal bind, personal house, and personal guild recall stone to port people to your lawn. Okay?
I was actually kind of thinking that the answer should be when you kill them. But
no, you can't kill kids.
No, I was meant in game.
He's Old Boy. He's benevolent.
I didn't mean like IRL or anything. I kind of meant
sure.
No, not advocating homicide in the least bit. All right. Update the
so
list.
did we get that last shirt?
Rolling the dice. Teddygrams 01. You got the last shirt. TEDDI.
Congratulations on all of your shirts and all of your time cards.
01. There you go. And at the very end, I'll give away a poster. Alright, where is everybody? They've disappeared on us. We need a whole lot of killings going on. So how do you collect the t-shirt? I put it in the mail and I send it to you. I'm omnipotent. I know where you live. That, or I send you an email through your registered Twitch account, and you respond back with where I can ship it to. I prefer the first answer, though. I'll just guess. Just write random street names down and start mailing to people. But could you imagine it going out to the mailbox, just like random Dark Age of Camelot t-shirt? You have no idea what it is. Like, what the hell is this? I get your address from you giving it to me.
He just knows where all of you live.
Yes.
He's Craculin. He's got contacts.
Hi. You joke. You joke. Alright. I see them. They see us. We got like a Mexican standoff going on here. What's up? racist because I call it a Mexican standoff. That's what it's called. It's not
I
like
believe that's actually a thing.
that's a thing. It's oh, of course the mods. Oh, Insomniac Game and Kelithar. Take that lightning bolt from you. It's a Canadian standoff. It's about time you went back south of the border there, eh? Let's see.
When is the next event for devs? Terralum, we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to try to figure out the best way to continue with the dev community correspondence. If everyone likes this format, then I don't mind. I will try to be less tired next time, so that I don't sound like this. But if you have other suggestions as to how we can more efficiently correspond with you in the playing public, let us know, and we'll consider all possibilities. If you aren't already, make your way over to postcount.net, and basically anything that we do in terms of relaying information to the community almost immediately, actually I think literally immediately, gets the information gets ported over to those boards, and there's a lot of discussion around it. And occasionally either John or myself or Marty will post on the boards in response to issues of importance, and sometimes just to make fun of people.
I'm gonna get bombed again. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting heals. Getting heals. Run away. Now the question is, am I running the right direction? Nope. Sure not. Run away. What are you doing? Retreating. You're running to them. Oh, crap. On both sides. Alright, now this is for a poster.
Who wants a poster?
Apparently not Golden Axe 007 because they're not following. But Texas Horns 23 does. Congratulations, TX Horns 23. Oh, Card has one last question before we go. This will be the last question. Thane Heretic Bug. Get Talal to talk about it.
Looking into it.
Looking into it.
Looking into it.
And that is how we'll end the session, everybody.
No.
No?
No. I refuse to end our final Wayback Wednesday.
Looking into it?
No, that's unsatisfying to me.
Unsatisfying. What we need to do is find a level 50 battleground and go run at their guards.
Or you can run at guards.
I know.
Here in the frontiers. It's just
I gotta go find one.
Quite a hike.
Yes.
I want to thank you, Rob, for these 15 very amusing, very informative play sessions.
It was 12.
No, it was 15.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know how many exactly there were. For all of these play sessions, for going through every single realm, going through Mulvik, Thidranki, Mulvik, and Katha Valley, and then the Frontiers, and then there was the 11th anniversary event. We very much appreciate the opportunity to come on and speak with the players. You basically created a monster, and we're going to continue, hopefully, with you in some format. And you and I will get together and talk about that. And to all the players that have contributed questions and have...
Sorry, the startup music just cut right into you. It's the one thing I can't turn down. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody. Thank you for playing. And keep submitting feedback and keep asking questions, and we'll keep answering them.
You're welcome. And how do you follow me? How do you want to follow me? Do you want to follow me on this channel? Just click follow around there somewhere. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Twitter at Graculin. Grakulen. I talk to people all the time. And I logged out and I logged back in. I actually have, you think me, who turned my NPC around and has him facing the corner?
Uh-oh. Talk to him.
Talk to him?
Talk to him. Just click him.
Oh, he turned around towards me. Yay! I actually have...
He was looking at the casks of ale. I
I know.
don't understand.
He's like, I want booze. It's been so long that the beer was talking to him. So they actually did thank me, and that's what I want to think about you. They gave me one of the coolest things you could like ever get in a game. They named an NPC after me. So
It's our pleasure.
but the answer is we will do something. This is just the conclusion of this cycle, so we'll make sure that we get together and do that. But for those of you guys who are just interested in older MMOs as a thing, I do Wayback Wednesday 2 to 3 times a month, and next week I actually have EverQuest with their new expansion, Reign of Fear, and their part 2 of that, Shadow of Fear, just came out today. So I'll have the EQ team with me. Keep that in mind if you are interested in that. So, you got anything else, Talal?
No, just again my sincere thanks and affect for our players and to you for great times.
All right. And on that note, thanks for coming and hanging out, everybody. I really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. Learned a lot about Dark Age of Camelot over the course of the year. Probably couldn't have told tonight for the amount of time I have space planting, but it is.
Oh, you dropped some knowledge. You
Yes.
did.
But it gets kind of challenging actually trying to do all this at the same time.
Yeah.
Trust me. And on that note, everybody have a great night.
Good
Talk
night,
to you later.
everyone.